session, let me introduce our second resource person, Dr. S. Bharadwaj, Department of Physics, GITAM School of Science, GITAM deemed to be University, Hyderabad, India, who is pursuing his research in the field of magnetic materials involving ferrites, ferroids, manganites, and composites. His current research involves study of magnetic interaction in ferrites with different dopants, and when mixed with different materials, they lead to further modifications in the properties desired for specific applications.
Ma'am, I'll cut you short, ma'am.
Yeah.
Let me begin because
Yes,
it's
yes, yes, sir.
already we are running short of time, and I understand it is Sunday evening, and people are instead of gluing to Netflix and Amazon, they are gluing to screen for some mandatory requirement of certificate. Uh, so let me start directly.
Yes, as you wish, sir.
No, no, it's perfectly fine. I am a lecturer myself. I understand all these things. So, uh, current topic for me is given. Hi, everybody. This is again. I'll just introduce myself to match up the flow. Uh, this screen reminds me of a Corona period where everyone goes dark and I'm the only one to speak to the screen. Uh, Understandably, that I'm speaking to the nature. Dark is like nature. The current topic given to me is research methods. In addition to previous professor who has talked about learning methods, learning is also some sort of a research methodology which is followed. Let me give a practical. I'm an experimental guy. Let me be frank with you. I'm not a theoretician. I'm an experimental guy. I teach through practicals and somewhat experimentally learning is somewhat effective in nature. So if audience choose to participate, they can happily participate within it. I can explain you how the research works within say 10 to 15 minutes, provided you choose to participate. Say for an example, let me start with a simple query. How many people are faculty here? Ma'am, you can just count the number. You can help me out because
Yeah, almost 10 now, sir.
okay, so we have 10 faculty and we have total 120 participants. So that has to be your 110 students, if I am right.
It has increased to 17 now, 17 faculty members.
Yes. So I understand it is an engineering college, and I hope many students are undergraduate students or postgraduate students. So they will be writing this project, and if everyone is gluing to the screen, they will. You can understand how the project works. So, so your teachers will be spending less time on teaching you how to write a project, and that will be grateful to them actually. Okay. So I'll take an arbitrary value of 15 to 20 as a number faculty and say 100 as your students, correct? Okay, next, how many are male persons and female persons in this group? If I am understanding, this is a girls' college by the going according to the brochure. Let me call how many male faculty or male gender is there? Male. So let me take something like 10. So 10. So I have 20 faculties and 120 students. Out of these two, I have 10 male. Okay. So this is research, as simple as it. So I have a arbitrary value. I'm just asking a common questions to people that how many faculty are there. There are say 20 faculty. I'm just taking it. The number might be slightly less or more. Okay. Please understand that I'm ignoring the factor called error. Okay, the error, say error is not that much damaging in this particular case. Say 1 plus or minus chalta hai in Indian condition context. Even 100 students plus or minus 5 to 6 doesn't mind. It's not we are taking attendance here. We are simply taking a arbitrary value. Okay. Another question I would like to ask many of you. I hope everyone switch on their video also if it is okay for them. If it is okay in terms of their positions. Okay. How many people travel more than 10 kilometers to their college? There is no clause called faculty or students here. You should understand that this is a general question. So I think Ma'am Mohan, Priya Ma'am can help me out. Yes.
19, sir.
Something like 19. Oh, that's wonderful. More and more participants are at. So you can rest assured, the organizers can rest assured 19 people are gluing to their screens. So I have a confirmed research pattern here. How many people are about 20 kilometers? They are traveling more than 20 kilometers.
Close to 12, sir.
Close to 12. And how many people travel more than 30 kilometers? I will go lesser slides. I told you I'm a assignment guy, so I'll show you slightly less number of slides, maybe to sum up. But this is more experimental. So 30, how many people are for 30? Let me assume something like 30 kilometers. How many traveling more than 30 kilometers? Can I put it as a value around 10, 11?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I have 120 people in the group. That's the value it is showing. Mostly 10 people are traveling more than 30 kilometers. That means they will be they are out of the city outskirts, or maybe if the college is placed at the city outskirts, so they will be residing in the city. Is this the college in Chennai, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 10 kilometers, and maybe the students are very local in nature. They are coming near around the particular college. That's or the audience can be out of the city also. Maybe not all students are participating in this particular event, but the overall trend clearly shows, the research shows that your people are traveling almost 30 to 40 people are constantly traveling about 10 kilometers on the day. This is the output I'm getting. Okay. So if traveling means some sort of a transport has to be arranged, the transport, in order to arrange a transport, it is required money. Whether college is arranging the transport, or you yourself are arranging transport for yourself, it takes money. Either way, it takes money. So if it is costing you something, so you have to include that into your daily expenses. Okay, whether you're paying it to college or whether you're paying it. So if I'm paying something like 5,000 rupees per month for travel business, I have to deduct somewhat. This is simple research I'm talking about. Here I am telling you how to estimate the overall expenses. Say for an example, your college is having something like 800 students, and out of which 600 students are traveling. They have to arrange something like 10 buses average. Okay, and even they collect some nominal fees of 10,000. It is very huge for them. So they will be doing a basic research that how many students are traveling about 10 kilometers or about 20 kilometers. and then they will come up with the assessment that how many amount of buses we required for the college, such that we plan the day-to-day activity. Okay. One more, any other thing can we extract from this particular piece of information? Any student? Doctors are strictly forbidden. Teachers and doctors are strictly forbidden. Anyone else? I'm not going to bore you anymore. This is 1 or 2 questions. That's it. And then we'll come to your basic slides. Okay. Now, as a college administrator, I will like to see that what is the college name, ma'am? Sorry, I forgot this name. What is the college name?
Shasun Jain College.
Shashu Jain College. Okay. So I want Shashu Jain College brand buses to be going through the city. Sometimes they will put it to the farthest part of the city, so that everyone sees that there is a college bus going from this part of. And for the next year, when they have their child or ward ready, they will think, yes, this college bus is already going. Why not directly get admitted into that particular college? Sometimes they do it for promotional. Okay, this is also one sort of a research. Basically, all these things comes under your qualitative research with quantification aspects. Okay. Now, one more question I will ask. Anything else I can come out from this particular information? Anyone else? Come on, students. First thing is college is earning money. Next, it is doing for promotional. Next, what else? Everybody's silent. Okay. Anything else I can make it out? I have to say, for an example, a guy is traveling from 30 kilometers. So generally the college starts at 8:30, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. That's how they trouble us. Okay. So so he will not start at 7 o'clock. He will start around 6:30 or 6 o'clock. So he has to eat somewhere. So not every day he will get a tiffin dabba from his house. So he has to spend his time in canteen. Correct. So you have to create a canteen infrastructure, and if you have the canteen, again you go and spend the money. Okay. So by taking students from a longer distance, you are creating infrastructure of transport. You are creating infrastructure of your promotional activities, and you are creating infrastructure for your canteen, which is again monetizing for college. Okay, this is how research takes place from a general questionnaire. Okay, one more question I would like to ask people. This is only for students. How much rent you like to pay in the future, say after 2 years? Say first question is less than 5,000. Just tick wherever the tick mark is there. Only 7. Only 7 people are present, it seems.
Can we put it that 20% or 25% of total income?
I'm just taking a modest total, sir. 25% is, I know the realistic value, but this is just common question. That's it. You're right, actually. 25%. Yes, correct. I put this 5,000 as a value because the average salary of a BTech or undergraduate student is around 20,000 per month. So again, your suggestion of 25% comes to 5,000 only. That's why I put it. So how many people have given tick to it? Okay, I don't know how many people have given. Okay, 9 people, something like, let me put it as 10 people. And how many willing to pay more than 5,000? or about 25% of your income, of total income. Okay. So the reason I am asking this particular question is through your general knowledge of your general awareness, whether you are aware how much the rent are taking place or not, and one can estimate the prospects of real estates using this particular concept. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One minute. Okay, so here is my profile on the Google Scholar. So again, I told you my name is Bharadwaj. I work for Geetham in Hyderabad campus, and this is my profile on the Google Scholar. You can reach me out from here. So what is the necessity of research is basically to acquire your academic enhancement or improvement of your academic qualification. Second thing is your improvement of your technical knowledge. Third one is your career advancement, and fourth one is your cognitive approach, which the other teacher has already referred. I will not go into this because he has already covered so much amount of it. One main do's and don'ts in your research is please avoid any sort of a plagiarism into uh, your work. Do not copy from websites. They have tools where you can actually detect uh, uh, the order of plagiarism, the content, website. They can simply catch hold of you. Okay, so please avoid any plagiarism into it. Please do not plagiarism is not only in terms of content, but it is also because of the ideas. Okay, never uh, take someone else's idea and present it as if it is yours. Please cite it properly, because sooner or later people come to know. Okay. Next one is say these are the critical areas which we as a experimentalist, I analyze that the biology, sciences, engineering, your languages, and other areas such as your psychology, these are the areas where the common research generally takes place. Forgive me if I'm missing few areas. It's only to give you a broad ideas or broad uh, scope of it. Now, one simple example again, let us just take the example of your tea chai wala, which is very popular. If there is a guy in my college who generally I just asked him how much cups he is selling daily in my college. He says that something like 1,000 cups. Now he charges me 10 rupees per cup, and 1,000 means nearly he's earning 10,000 rupees per day. So my college is working for 20 days. So 20 days into 10,000, it's very huge. Okay, so using a simple statistics, a simple piece of information, that how many cups he is selling per day, I'm able to arrive at some sort of a conclusion that he is actually earning a very good significant amount of money. But what things I don't consider is the expenditure cost which he is incurring, how much rent he has to pay for his deputies, or how much amount it will be deducted daily as rent or as a consumables or something else, day-to-day cost. and these are not consistent in nature. For 1 month people may drink more, and for 1 month people may drink less. The number is only an arbitrary value, so the value may change from one time frame to another time frame. So this is a basic research. And what else you can make out from this particular example? What brand of tea is using, whether the brand is popular or not, why did he choose that particular brand. These kind of questionnaire a business student can ask. A experimental can ask a different, what type of cups he is using, whether it is a biodegradable cups or not. So these are the common questions, questionnaire which you can develop. I'm just taking a common example, and I'm teaching you how to develop your own questionnaire for your own research methodology. Remember, the research methodology is nothing. It's like you go on, your father gives you 1,000 rupees and he asks you to purchase some dress for you. You will go to 5 to 6 shops, find out a suitable clothing material for you, and then you will say acha hai ke nahi, something like that. Okay, it's like same thing. You research every shop, which fabric, which design is unique, which suits you, and then whether it is affordable or not. You set up certain guidelines, and you do the shopping. Research is also same thing. Okay, it's nothing different, but it is a proper organized way of setting things or documenting things. Another example, you can call it as a tourism. Into tourism means, say for an example, one of my relatives recently gone to Kanyakumari. Nearly 4,000 to 2,000 people are there in January 1st, or I'm just taking modest total. If 2,000 families are there, that means something like 100 hotels should be there minimum. So how these 100 hotels are organized, in which regions they are organized, how much they are charging per day, whether these charges are very high in the peak regions, what are the charges in the low say not so what you call it as peak regions and low regions, or something like that. Okay, that means where the tourists are not that much expected. So what are the overall profit? This is what you can design your own questionnaire. Remember that I'm understanding that I'm speaking to bulk of the students. Research methodology depends upon the designing of your questionnaire for yourself first. Whether what type of research you are choosing, that is a different question, but you should understand what you want, what is the methodology you are going to follow, and what is the outcome you are going to get it. If the outcome is positive and if it is constructive, then your research methodology is good. Otherwise, it is not. Okay, this is the broad guidelines which, as a material scientist, we follow. Okay, we'll just try to dope some things. We'll try to change the properties, whether we see whether it is suitable for our application or not. Another example. Now I'll just outline. I'll give a brief outline how the research is divided. You can clearly see. Just hold on for a minute. Want to just zoom in. Okay, sorry, I forgot to put it on a slideshow. Okay, now you can see the one is your experimental research. Now, experimental research is what we do. I am experimenting something like that. The simplest example I will like to give is say with permission of Priya ma'am. Priya ma'am is going to 4 to 5 different relatives' house, and she's eating sambar. Okay, each house will use a different ingredient of salt and garam masala and something like that. Or after coming to 5 different houses, at the end of the week, she will write a summary report that person A has prepared better sambar than person B and C and D and E. Although it will be a confidential report, but many of them will receive the same thing, that your sambar is having a 5-star rating, but internal report says that B sambar is better than others. Okay, so this is called experimental research, where you actually go to the ground and taste the sambar and come back, and based on your senses you are saying that this one is good and this one is, you have something for comparison. Am I boring? Anyone is there? Is this link online?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is experimental. Sorry, I did not think that it's online. Okay. This is your experimental research, where you compare things accordingly. Second is your descriptive research. Descriptive research, I'll come back to the descriptive research later on with an example. I have stored it in mind. Third one is your archival research. Tanjavur, Kanyakumari, your Thiruvananthapuram, and your Trichy, where you have the huge infrastructure of your temples, your all those what you call it as, I've seen them, I couldn't get the right name, but all those sculptures are, which are classic example of your archival research, where something history is implanted on the stones. So all these things comes under archival research. Konark is the best example, where actually the how to calculate the time to the millionth part of the second is being described. You can just go through the video of YouTube video, where one person explains the time to the millionth second, and this Konark was built nearly 1,000 years ago. Historical research, again, the classic example lies near the Chennai Ram Setu. In the stories, we say that the Ram Setu was there, but after 2,000 years or 3,000 years, people actually prove that there was a Ram Setu. Or you can take the example of Dwaraka. Historical myth says that your city was consumed by your sea, but it was later evidence near with the facts and videos and pictures that yes, there was there. So your stories becomes your historical research. Over the time period, it will be proved. Okay. So again, the second part comes your qualitative and quantitative. Again, I've just told you qualitative approach and quantitative. When I'm taking the how many faculties are there or how many students are there, that is your quantitative approach. I'm just assuming that how many students are there, how many faculties are there, how many genders, how many males are there. These data are generally useful for your government of India. How many girls are studying, how many boys are studying, how many are getting more than 50% or 60% or 80%, all those nonsense things. And qualitative research is that how many people are passing, how many people are getting 70%, 80%, 90%. These are that comes under your qualitative research. How many people are getting O grade? That is what you people are fighting for, majority of the students. And O grade, A plus, A, B plus, all those things. Okay. Okay, 1 minute, I'll just go. So third one is, you can see that research also includes your basic applied sciences. That is my domain. Your technological developments, and basic applied sciences is, as you know, material development, composite material, preparation of composite material, advances in composite material, high energy materials, all those things comes under your applied sciences. The technological developments, evolution of electric vehicles is the classic example of technological development research. Now, in 10 years ago, we did not hear the electric vehicle concept. Now we have electric vehicles running around. MG, Tata, how many? I don't know. Third player is also entering. Maruti is also entering this year. So these are technological development. Material development, is, again, I classified it because again, high energy materials comes under this, high strength materials comes under this. Now in olden days you will see the old iron based red color bus. Nowadays in metro you see a steel holding. If you go to your metro trains, you can see a different design of steel with a smooth finish. Not even if you put your fingerprint also, it will not even detect. That finishing will be different. That comes under your material development. And you can and the sources are very, very important. All the students should keep mind what sources they are using. They should use the authentic sources. Say for an example, your journal sources are more authentic. If your college has subscribed for Science Direct or Elsevier or Springer or any other journals, you should use them only, because they are already paying for it. And they should also use review articles for their subject development. Combination of journal papers and review articles will suffice your needs. You can also use the web sources, but depending on web sources, I will not recommend. Books also, it's okay, but what happens is generally if we read books, we'll tend to sleep. And you can use monographs also. Okay. Again, I have gone through this experimental research. Again, one thing you have to keep in mind is what is a dependent variable and independent variable. Now, as I told you, the example of tea, selling of tea, that guy is selling 10,000 cups, and he's earning something like 10,000 per day. That is, I am not taking any dependent variable in that. I'm not taking any factors that how much milk he is consuming, how much gas he is consuming, how much manpower he is using, how much he is spending on cups, whether he is using any light or energy or rent. All those things I am not at all even considering. Okay, so I'm using an independent variable factor. If I use a dependent variable factor, all those things will come down very soon. So this is just an example, common example, what is dependent variable and independent. There are several other things, but I understand this is undergraduate college, so I thought let me put it as simple one. You can see again, we have descriptive research. You can also discuss it. Descriptive research based on basic information. How many boys are there? How many girls are there? How many faculty members are there in one particular college? Whether they are qualified as PhD holders or not? How many are yet to get PhD? This kind of information which college displays in their website becomes your descriptive research. Okay. Other example, you can just go through the slides, but I hope you understand what is the pass percentage, what is common analysis which everybody does daily. One example of descriptive research can be given is whether the neighbor is getting NEET rank or not, whether the neighbor is getting higher rank or in IIT JAMs or other competitive exam or not. Generally, your neighbors will ask how much you are what got the rank. That means they are doing a descriptive research. Okay. Again, this correlational research, it's basically your simple example is diet. If I have to explain what is the correlational research, what type of, if I have a thyroid, I should not be eating cauliflower or cabbage, or I should not use some other, I should not eat this, I should not take more caffeine, something like that. This comes under your correlational research. Okay. How much time? I have only 7 minutes, so I'll just go through it. Again, you can see the quantitative research numbers. We are talking about your numbers arranged in a proper way, and you based on the numbers, you are actually doing the analysis. Okay. Again, if I understand it, many people are from English, because I've seen that English department name somewhere. So you can do the analysis on your English proficiency, your reading speaks, your dialectics, or your language variation. That can be also comes under your quantitative research. Again, you can see in qualitative research your the order of aspiration. I'm talking about outcome here. Okay, aspiration, your analysis, your the random behavior. Example. Again, your father is giving you 1,000 rupees, and you want to purchase a good dress for yourself. You will not select one particular shop. You will go from one shop to another shop. You will see a different variety. That is randomness. The overall outcome is you will spend 1,000 rupees at the end of the day, but that is certainty. But there is an order of randomness, and there is a certain amount of probability that you will buy this particular dress because your friend is not having that. One can predict an outcome. Business people are very, very good at this probability. And observation also comes into handy, and your in-depth understanding. Just go through this thing. And one recent thing why Kantara has been more successful, that is also subjected to a lot of qualitative research. Why your Vikram is so popular. Even I watched it 4 or 5 times in the Netflix. Why it is so popular? All these things, case studies, different. One thing should be there, that your any type of research, you should have a good quality. Otherwise, people will not accept it. Okay, 1 minute. I'll wind up in 2-3 minutes. So again, you have this applied research. In applied research, the patent is the final outcome one, and you need to monetize your patent. So it takes a lot of time. In the basic research, you can see in the basic research, the development you will be developing a hypothesis. It is purely for academics, basically all the teachers who will be sitting here. It is only to enhance the knowledge and confirm the theories which are already in place. And application is not necessary. Say example I have given you, the black holes, how the black holes are created, what is the temperature of the sun, whether it is varying from point to point or not. How does the surface of the moon changes from one region to another region. If comet is passing through the moon, whether the surface of the moon changes or not. This kind of research comes under your basic research. Now, is this MBA college, ma'am?
It's an arts and science college, sir.
Okay, then I'll skip this slide.
It is a heterogeneous gathering, sir. We are from humanities, science.
Okay. So anyway, even if people are interested in some sort of a business aspect, this is what you should actually outline yourself. Say you should start with observation. You should then you should go for surveys. You should interviews, say focus groups. Then you can, if you choose to do experimental, then you can do it. Then you have to do secondary data analysis also, or you can do everything, which is nothing but your blended approach. You can see a narrative research is depending on 1 to 2. It's like Gargar ki kahani. Mother and father will decide everything. That becomes your narrative research. Your phenomenological research is having something like 5 to 25 case studies. From that, you will pick up, say you go to the party, some marriage function, and if 25 people says that a food is bad, then everyone will start saying food is bad, because they have set up a narrative that food is bad. So your ground theories have something like values around 20 to 60 reports, and the case study generally is having about 100. Okay, so 1 minute. So these are the do's and don'ts. Never ever have a biased approach in your research. Never ever do that. Take a critical review. Don't show it to others, because people are very good at plagiarism, but never, you should have your unbiased approach. Do not give a emotional response to audience. Whoever is reading, they will pick up. I remember one article where I picked up. Yes, I'm a reviewer to some journals. It's not that becomes your negative approach. Immediately people will reject, because the journals have a very good standards. They never give a repetitive sentences or idea. Because I remember as a reviewer, in one paragraph, same sentence was there. It was paraphrased in second paragraph. So it was rejected. That entire paper is rejected online, because as a reviewer, we will be very careful in not to hurt the sentiments of the author. But we cannot undermine these kind of things also. Okay. So repetition should be avoided. There should be some limitations, and the complications, if there are any, they have to be addressed. Say, for an example, your college is sponsoring the research, but you are not citing it. That becomes your complication. If some other person is contributing to your research, and if you're not giving acknowledgement, that becomes your complication. So, and please don't do all this left side thing. That's why I kept it on left side. Don't do it. And right side is the right one, things which you have to do it. Argument with a purpose. You should have a proper documentation. Logical discourse should be there. Rational with your work. Interpretation. And work should be comprises of your all these things: observation, analysis, interpretation, verification, and evaluation. Evaluation should be very, very thorough by yourself, because you are the owner of your own work. Okay. So please remember, this will be the last one. The conclusions are very, very important. Know your objective. Choose your path of research from any of them. Identify the tool of research and come to the conclusions. Okay. So, and present it to some competitive authority who can evaluate it unbiased way. So that's my thing. I have just exceeded 60 seconds of the time. So any questions, I will happy to answer, starting with students. Anyone else?
So the session is till 8:30 actually. So if you want, maybe you can take 10 more minutes and then we can take questions. If not,
Yeah.
we can wind up.
No, I was told it was 7 to 8 for me. That's why I thought, okay.
That's why we
It's
have
okay.
the first session till 7:15. We thought we'll have the second session till 8:15. So that's okay, sir.
It's okay. Anyway, student, our whole entire agenda is to help students. So let me have the questionnaire from students itself. Everyone is sleeping?
Dear participants, you can ask your questions now.
Yeah, you can directly speak, sir. I think no need of raising hand. Just I request you to switch on the videos. That will be better, because a teacher would like to know who they are speaking to.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I have a small query. I think not very I just want to know if we are conducting any case study. Is there any requirement the case should be very specific or very something has to be there in the case, or we can conduct case study with anything like any child we can take for the case study, or there has to be a special child. This is just
No.
an example.
Yeah, ma'am. Generally, case study cannot be studied on one particular individual. If I am right, you have to take a certain group, and it has to be something like 20 above. That's the general guidelines. I have read through the literature.
Okay.
If you are talking about individual thing, then it is different. It's like
Sir, this basically I'm thinking about that like the educational psychology area
okay.
where we can study the all kind of pattern, the study pattern, the learning style, and the background. Everything can be studied.
Uh, in
Uh,
these cases, especially in education, usually case studies are taken as a single entity, and the research is done on sometimes a single person. Uh, in my college, some people are doing research, and they take all the individuals, study them individually, and then compile and come with a conclusion.
Yeah, the way I understood sir was telling is you set up a certain amount of questionnaire for yourself. So once you draft those questionnaire, then you start interviewing all the student. You set up a set of boundaries. This is what is my objective is for this. I need to prepare this questionnaire. That's what I understand. Not I'm a, as I told you, I'm a material scientist, so I don't have that kind of expertise which I can answer it. I think sir has done it. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
In
just like
sir,
regarding to any institution, like we want to study about the growth of any institution. It was just example of child, but yes, if we want to study about the about any institution, growth of the institution, can we do this as a research, as a case study research?
Uh, it's very difficult to tell, but I will not like to speculate on this. But you understand that growth of institution is purely on numbers. If my number of admissions is very high, I'm getting more profit. I'm grown, and it is shown in NRF ranking or IQAC ranking or whatever the ranking which they are calling it as. So it's all numbers game, ma'am. And
Okay. Means
so
qualitative and quantitative both kind of data can we collect and
you can
we can
collect.
conclude something.
You can collect whatever the
Okay.
means. You can see qualitative research means, say for an example, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. It is purely applied research. It is ranked number 1. It only takes 100 students per year. Okay,
Right,
and
right.
some institutes only take maybe in your college or other college you must have heard some 1,000 students intake as in engineering. So one becomes your qualitative and one becomes your automatically quantitative. So it's the methodology which you follow for your research.
Okay, right. Right. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
sir, actually, I am from humanities, but I have a small query regarding the research in science. Suppose
Okay.
in science, a researcher performs a research in lab, and after experimenting for some time, there is no conclusion. Or if somebody is working on, say, malaria, and finally there are no significant results, and the publishing of that research is what is the significance of publishing that research in which the conclusion is usually negative?
It's actually good research. Because you're informing everybody that don't choose this path, you're bound to fail. Because if say for an example malaria, it takes nearly 10 years of research. So you are saving huge amount of research, manpower, money, instrumentation, whatever you're calling it as, you're saving it. So if you are publishing that kind of research also, it's value added. Because now the classic example which we have seen is how intra-government data has shared on coronavirus. They have shared that please don't choose this because it is failing. One government is telling another government. That's how the vaccine cost succeeded. They have the element of secrecy or profiteering, it will be there. But according to me, even you can publish it that yes, I cannot get a proper result because this is the methodology or thing which I have followed. Because I will be saving a lot of time for others also, actually.
Thank you, sir.
Any students, anyone else?
Is there any particular number of ways through which we can interpret a data? For example, we are getting some information of the individuals or faculty or students, their details, date of birth, Aadhaar card, and all that. So, how many ways we can interpret that data? Is there any particular number?
It can be anything, sir. Even Excel sheet can be used effectively. You can go for ascending order, descending order, depending on filters. You have n number of columns, you have n number of filters. So 2n number of filters. So it's only pure statistics, actually. That is very difficult to answer.
It is the number of ways by which we can.
Say for an example, I have a name, gender, and date of birth. So I can separate it out based on gender. I can separate it on based on age. I'm talking about 3 columns, but I can separate it in 2 different ways. And not to mention ascending and descending also. So nearly 4 different permutation and combination I can sort it out.
That is what. How many informations a person has? Is there any count for that?
That depends upon the questionnaire, sir.
No, if for example, my name, parentage, residence, my phone number, my Aadhaar number, my PAN number, my health history, my size, the color of eyes. So, is there any data available that in how many questions we can form and under which all the things of a person can come?
I'll put it like this, and I cannot ask all the questions. I should ask questions in such a way that public is not getting offended. So there are some do's and don'ts. This is very difficult to answer, sir. Very sorry, I cannot have an answer.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes,
Sir, I'm
ma'am.
Lala Khalid from Kashmir.
Yes,
So, do
ma'am.
you think that our research work gets hampered by so many factors, and finally the outcome which comes outcome is also, in a way, it's not that correct because there are so many factors, whether they are social factors, political factors, or some personal factors, and the research which comes out is not that reliable. But still, we take it as a reliable research.
Ma'am, one
What's
thing.
your take on it, sir?
That's what I'm saying. If I'm speaking for myself, and I'm speaking for myself only. Please understand that. If I have to publish some sort of a research, whether if it takes 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, I will let it take. Okay. Why? Because the college will not own up my research. It may use it at a different platform to improve its credentials, but it will not own up. At the end of the day, my research will only profile me. Based on my research, people will recognize me. So I'll be very careful what I present it. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question?
I think.
Okay, so shall we wind up?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I thank Dr. Bharadwaj for his session on research methods. So thank you for the live example. That was interesting. Thank you so much, sir.
Practical examples, ma'am.
Yeah. Moving on to the official vote of thanks, I take this opportunity to place on record my gratitude to our resource people, Dr. Kofi Abochi and Dr. Bharadwaj, for taking time out of their busy schedule and being with us this evening to share their expertise on the topics, learning methods and research methods, respectively. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Regin Silvest, President, Cape Comorin Trust, and the organizing committee of this faculty development program. My heartfelt thanks to the program coordinators, heads of the departments, and the faculty members of Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shasan Jain College for Women for their constant support. My sincere thanks to all the participants for the dedication and involvement in this international one-week faculty development program. Thank you all once again. We shall meet tomorrow at 6 p.m.